What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
His career that you have any respect for? Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
50 Cent is having a great time right now because Rick Ross just pulled off one of the most cunning pranks ever on Big Meech. Rumor has it that Meech betrayed him, but the twist is that everyone saw it coming except for Big Meech. The internet is consuming this drama as if it were the last episode of the hottest reality TV show. But what was Meech thinking when he tried to put his trust in an ex-cop? Let's examine this bizarre situation in more detail.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
Since Rick Ross threw him under the bus, 50 Cent has been seriously mocking Big Meech and Little Meech on social media. But here's the crazy part. A few months after being released from prison, Big Meech was out here hugging Rick Ross as if he were some sort of savior, rather than keeping his distance and expressing love to the man who kept it real with him. Knowing that Ross had been one of the 50th long-standing rivals, Meech connected with him. Now, 50 Cent wasn't exactly expecting Big Meech to treat Rick like the enemy he is, but the sight of Meech smiling and picking on Ross as if he's been down for him for the past 20 years had to hit 50 hard. I mean, straight to the gut. As if that betrayal wasn't enough, Big Meech continued to twist that knife further by hanging out with Floyd Mayweather, while Little Meech, just to spite 50 out there talking about real power like for real. That's how you repay a man who literally handed your son $5 million and kept you in the game all those years. People may claim that 50 made a fortune off Big Meech's name, but at least he created something. Apart from playing Big Meech like a chess player, what else has Rick Ross done? When things started to heat up, Ross backed off faster than you could blink before anyone even realized what was happening. I mean, how do you explain that the second things got messy, Ross suddenly suffered a shoulder injury and made sure the entire internet was aware of it? Ross knew this whole thing was going to blow up, and he handled it like the slick player he is chasing clout, soaking up that attention and feeding his own ego on it.
What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Suddenly, we're supposed to feel sorry for him. Let me tell you, things get stranger from here. Not only did Rick Ross use his shoulder injury as an excuse to distance himself from Big Meech, but he also used it as a means of evading his devoted followers whom he outright defrauded with his cryptocurrency boss token. People on the internet began referring to him as Rick Ross because of the way he deceived everyone who trusted him with their cash man. Additionally, don't forget that he conveniently ended up with that busted shoulder just days after he fronted on Big Meech and was caught, and that's telling no doubt. The worst part is that Rick Ross was the one encouraging Big Meech to contact 50 Cent to increase his cash flow. Big Meech is left with nothing to his name, and that's why other artists are steering clear of him like he's got some sort of bag. Juju, even those Wingstop franchises everyone thought Big Meech would cash in on, rumor has it Rick Ross low-key sold most of them off and kept only a couple just so he could funnel that dough into his real estate hustle. And get this, if Rick Ross hadn't been a roadblock, Big Meech could have made a serious comeback in the game, but instead he kept making reckless moves. Little Meech was out there blowing stacks on his Chrome Hearts jeans, trying to flex like stars such as Gunna. Now they've lost it all at this point. Folks are roasting Big Meech for how quick this so-called friendship with Rick Ross went up in flames. One of the loudest critics has been Michael Rainey Jr., who straight up said he doesn't feel a bit sorry for either Little Meech or Big Meech because they're both grown men who should have seen this coming from a mile away, and 50 Cent in the mix doubling down on it over on the internet.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man in this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, and you asking for my sympathy for it, nigga. You be alright. Ho ahead, nigga.
DJ Vlad even states, you don't want to be on the 50's bad side because he'll tear everything apart just to make his point. Everyone is aware of how crazy 50 Cent can get when it comes to his opponents.
He'll burn it all down if you piss him off. His own shit sometimes too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. regardless of how much money.
Now, Big Meech isn't the first person Rick Ross has abandoned to fend for himself in the desert. He did the same thing to his own crew, leaving them to go have some fun in Canada and then coming back to claim that he was only trying their metal. That's a cold move, but that's just how Rick Ross has always operated. Even Whack 100 called him out for being the real antagonist in this whole 50 and Big Meech spectacle, and he watched the game from the beginning.
Fly out all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No,
No? You think 50?
no,
Lil Meech.
no.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
Ross was never truly a friend to Big Meech from the jump. He had a clear agenda. He fed Meech all this hype, acting like he was his ride or die, while scheming to turn him against 50, painted this big picture about helping him get his papers straight. But in the end, it was just all caps. Let's keep it real. Whack 100 actually made a solid point. If Rick Ross was really about helping Big Meech back on his grind, he would have kept their business on the low, but nah, he was out here dissing 50 and running his mouth about snagging the BM series rights when everyone knows he had zero plans to actually do it. And now Ross has gone ghost on Big Meech. The only thing he's pushing these days is whatever's going to line his own pockets, and Big Meech ain't in that picture anymore. And check this out, word on the street is that Rick Ross might have been the real reason Big Meech's welcome benefit party got shut down. Meanwhile, he had us all thinking it was 50 Cent pulling strings. Why? Real simple, he wanted to keep Meech from soaking up all the glory from that concert and making a big comeback in the game. Instead, he preferred that Meech stayed in his shadow while he played the good guy for the world to see when 50 put out that post. And then deleted it talking about, I had nothing to do with this, quit calling my phone. I hope you're having a nice day. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think. A lot of folks weren't buying it, but now it's all starting to click. Big Ross stated, I think I'm Big Meech in that BM song, and Meech was out here believing that Ross was on his side. That may be something, but allow me to present you with an idea that will make you wonder, what if Rick Ross truly desired to be Big Meech? Really? When you consider it, Ross has a history of basing his entire brand on the identities of other people, particularly when those people are rap royalty. This man actually adopted his name from the real Rick Ross, a well-known mobster who was serving time when he appeared. Not to mention that when the real Rick Ross was free, he confronted him and even attempted to sue him. The entire situation is bizarre and begs numerous questions regarding ambition and loyalty in the game.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
Now, let's go back to 2005. By 2010, the real Rick Ross, yes, the man who ran an entire empire in the 1980s, sued rapper Rick Ross for trademark infringement and identity theft, even though he claimed the whole thing was a lie and that he came up with the name himself. Fast forward to 2013, and the judge decided in favor of the rapper, claiming that Ross's use of the name was protected by the First Amendment, meaning the real Rick Ross lost the case and William Leonard Roberts too was able to keep that name without any problems. With all of that, it's really a stretch to think Ross might have been looking to pull the same stunt with Big Meech. I mean, he drops that BM song saying, I think I'm Big Meech. And suddenly he's getting all chummy with Meech the moment he steps out acting like he's got his back or something. But when it was time to actually help Meech make a real comeback, crickets. This situation is just like what Rick Ross did with Larry Hoover back in 2021. Ross has been using Larry Hoover, a real kingpin in the game, to boost his clout in songs, all while Hoover was still behind bars. Rumor has it Ross even shelled out millions to the gangster disciples, just so he could keep riding Hoover's coattails. But when it was time to stand up for Hoover's cause for real and show some support, dude ghosted. Instead of putting in real work to help, he was just out here name dropping and cashing in on Hoover's legacy without giving anything back. Let's just say a lot of folks were dragging Rick Ross over that mess to this day. Many people still say Rick Ross fumbled and was too scared to show face at the stadium. And here we are again, man, history repeating itself. No wonder 50 Cent once said he never respected Rick Ross as a person. Let's be real, the dude could flip on you at any moment.
His career that you have any respect for? Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work.
As he hustles on new projects and stacks that paper day by day, 50 is probably just kicking back and laughing at all this chaos because he hardly had to do anything to make everything turn upside down. Meanwhile, Big Meech and Little Meech are rushing from celebrity to celebrity, allegedly begging for a little change to keep their heads above water. And let's not forget about the most outrageous part. Because he believed that 50 couldn't secure the loan for his film studio, Rick Ross was out there disparaging 50 and laughing it up. However, a few days ago, that loan was approved, and Ross is now seeing firsthand that 50 is truly not the person to play with. Fans are out there certain that Rick Ross is likely fuming, especially since he was boasting about obtaining 50 Seconds Masters only weeks ago. Looking back, that entire claim sounds pretty ridiculous now.
I'll buy your masters. You better shoot. I will buy your masters.
When it comes to Little Meech and Big Meech, it's evident that some lessons have finally clicked, even though it seems like it's a bit too late for 50 to bring Little Meech back into the fold or lend a hand to Big Meech right now. And let me tell you, one voice that's been vocal throughout this whole saga is Zip. With the drip from the jump, he recognized that 50 Cent was dropping knowledge about Big Meech, and he saw this drama unfolding. He called it early, predicting that before long things would spiral out of control, with Rick Ross eventually turning his back on Big Meech. Fast forward to now, and here we are. A lot of folks in the fan base are buzzing about this whole ordeal, and the consensus is that Meech is pretty much washed up in the industry, especially since the one chance for a comeback he had ended up getting derailed. Who think all that time Big Meech spent locked up would have made him wiser, or at least given him a fresh outlook on how to navigate these streets. But believe it or not, it's been the total opposite. That's why one user pointed out, let me get this straight, the term karma refers to the flip-flopping of a former correctional officer on a prisoner who could have predicted it, and the subsequent reprimand of a dishonest person by another dishonest person. Now that this karma is being served hot out of the oven, bam. But really, I'm curious about your thoughts on all of this drama. Do you think Big Meech is planning to exact revenge on Rick Ross, or is he simply going to overlook that betrayal? He's also coming under fire for allegedly abandoning his childhood friend Cuffy. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more exclusive updates, and ring the bell so you never miss the drama. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned.